We understand from the Bombay High Court that it has dismissed the AAR order on the IPO violations by Tech Mahindra. We also know that it has allowed the plea of the Mauritius arm of Mahindra BT and in fact has directed the Tech Mahindra case back to the AAR.
Just in terms of a brief background, the AAR is basically the Authority of Advanced Rulings, and remember this one had raised certain questions about Tech Mahindra's corporate law practices by terming the option arrangement that Tech Mahindra had entered into with its client AT&T prior to the IPO that took place in, of course, 2006, circuitous and against public interest. So they had raised questions about the options that the company had entered into with AT&T. In fact, the chairman of AAR had, we had a lot of back and forth coming in between Mahindra BT Investments with regards to the AAR application. In fact, it said that with respect to issue of capital gains on its share transfer deal, a lot of questions were being raised. We've got Ashwin Mohan, who's tracking that story, of course, and he's joining in with more details. Ashwin.
Well, this is a really big relief coming in for the Mahindra Group, because after the order that was passed by the Authority of Advanced Rulings, there were clouds of doubt over the manner in which Tech Mahindra had come out with its IPO way back in 2006. So the IPO came out 7 years back, but the ghost of the IPO was continuing to haunt the entire Mahindra Group. They had approached the AAR because of a share sale agreement that they had entered into with AT&T. They wanted to know what's the taxability of that agreement, if at all. But instead of passing an order on the taxability of that particular deal, the AAR went a step further and said that the agreement was fictitious, against public interest, and had also violated SEBI's IPO guidelines. So it was that order that a Mauritius arm of the Mahindra Group had challenged before the Bombay High Court. And today, in a relief to the Mahindra Group, what the Bombay High Court has done is that it has dismissed the order passed by the Authority for Advanced Rulings. It has allowed the appeal filed by the Mahindra entity, and it has also, in fact, directed the case to go back to the AAR for fresh hearing. So clearly, there were questions of corporate governance practices. There were questions of the Mahindra Group becoming more vulnerable to the tax authorities after this controversial order. Those questions, of course, are settled now by the Bombay High Court. There are no more fears as far as those aspects are concerned for the Mahindra Group, and clearly it is also a shot in the arm for Tech Mahindra, because after this order there are no doubts regarding the manner in which it came out with its IPO. The Bombay High Court was very clear that the Tech Mahindra IPO was legitimate and the AAR had no business interfering with it and saying that it had violated SEBI guidelines. So that's the latest coming in as far as this big case is concerned at the Bombay High Court.